Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're going to be tackling artificial intelligence,
Ooh, fun.
and specifically the insights from Kai-Fu Lee's book, AI Superpowers, China, Silicon Valley, and the New World Order.
Yeah.
Get ready for, I think, a pretty fascinating look at how the AI landscape is evolving, especially the differences between how China and Silicon Valley are approaching this, like, game-changing technology.
Yeah, and I think Lee's book it really gets you thinking not just about the tech itself,
Right.
but about global power dynamics
Oh, yeah.
and even the potential impacts AI could have on your everyday life.
I think a great place to start is with a story that Lee tells right at the beginning of the book
Okay.
about AlphaGo's victory over the Go champion Qi back in 2017.
Yeah.
Now, we've all heard about AI beating humans at games.
Right.
So what was so different about this particular event?
Well, this wasn't just another tech demo.
Okay.
In China, AlphaGo's win triggered a nationwide AI frenzy. Think massive government investments, a surge in AI research, and tons of entrepreneurs jumping into the AI arena.
Wow.
It's like the entire country shifted gears overnight. Lee compares it to America's reaction to Sputnik.
Oh, wow.
A wake-up call that
Yeah.
spurred a national drive to catch up.
Right.
And to really drive home the point, China has this very ambitious plan to become the global AI leader by 2030.
Oh, yeah, for sure. But what I find so fascinating is how they're going about it. Like, Lee dives into these stories of these incredible Chinese entrepreneurs,
No.
like Wang Zheng.
Oh,
You actually call him the cloner in your notes.
That's right. Yeah, yeah. Wang Jing became incredibly successful by essentially copying popular Western platforms. Facebook, Twitter, you name it.
Wow.
But here's the thing. He wasn't just mindlessly copying.
You okay?
He was adapting these platforms to the unique Chinese market, ruthlessly competing and iterating at lightning speed. He took what worked, refined it, and dominated.
Wow.
So it's kind of like the Chinese clockmakers in the Forbidden City.
Oh, yeah.
They started by copying European designs,
Yeah.
but ultimately surpassed them by incorporating their own innovations.
So are you saying that China's copycat era, which was often mocked, actually laid the foundation for a generation of incredibly agile and competitive entrepreneurs?
Exactly. They were forced to innovate and adapt constantly just to survive.
Right.
And this gladiator mindset, as Lee calls it, has become a defining characteristic of the Chinese tech scene. They're not afraid to experiment, to move fast, and break things.
Yeah.
And this gives them a real edge in the rapidly evolving world of AI.
So it's like they kind of skipped a step?
Yeah.
While Silicon Valley was debating ethics and perfecting algorithms,
Right.
Chinese companies were out there in the trenches, learning by doing, gaining valuable experience.
And that experience is paying off. Lee argues that China's unique blend of government support, a massive population of tech-savvy users, and this gladiator culture is creating an AI ecosystem that's developing at an astonishing pace.
It really does seem like it's moving at a different speed over there.
Yeah.
Speaking of a unique ecosystem, let's talk about FOMO.
Okay.
Now, for our listeners who might not be familiar with this term, what exactly is it?
FOMO stands for online merge offline.
Okay.
And it's basically about blurring the lines between the digital and physical worlds.
Yeah.
Imagine a world where your online and offline experiences are seamlessly integrated, like having a remote control for your entire life.
Okay, that sounds incredibly futuristic, but like, is this really happening?
Oh, it is.
Give me an example.
The perfect example is WeChat.
Okay.
It started as a messaging app, but it's evolved into this all-encompassing super app that people in China use for everything.
For everything.
We're talking mobile payments, food delivery, ride-hailing, booking doctor appointments, even paying bills all within one app.
Wow. That's incredible. It's like they combined all the apps we use here in the West into one superpowered platform.
Yeah, it really is.
So how does this connect to AI?
This FOMO approach is generating massive amounts of data, which is the fuel that AI thrives on.
Right.
By capturing data from both the online and offline worlds, Chinese companies have a huge advantage in developing AI applications that are more personalized, more efficient, and more deeply integrated into people's lives.
Because it's not just about the technology itself.
Right.
It's about the ecosystem that supports it, the data that feeds it, and the culture that embraces it.
Yeah, exactly.
It sounds like China is really pulling ahead in this race.
They're certainly making remarkable progress.
Okay.
And another key factor contributing to their success is their talent pipeline.
Okay.
Lee highlights the intense dedication and hunger for knowledge among Chinese AI students.
Yeah.
Even when they had limited resources, they were determined to learn and excel.
He tells this really powerful story about students in Hefei huddled together late at night, studying outdated AI textbooks with limited internet access.
Right?
It's almost inspiring to see that level of commitment.
It is, and now those same students have access to global research, online platforms,
Mm.
and they're rapidly catching up to their Western counterparts.
Wow.
China's sheer volume of AI talent
Mm.
is staggering, and their ambition is palpable.
Mm.
They're not just catching up, they're aiming to surpass the West.
Okay, so we've got this perfect storm brewing. A supportive government, a data-rich FOMO environment, and a massive pool of talented and driven individuals.
Right.
But what about the U.S.?
Well,
Are we just conceding defeat in this AI race?
not at all.
Okay.
The U.S. still has incredible resources, top-tier universities, and some of the world's leading AI companies.
Right.
Lee identifies what he calls the seven giants of AI: Google, Facebook, Amazon, Microsoft, and then the Chinese giants, Baidu, Alibaba, and Tencent.
Go.
These companies are all vying for AI supremacy, competing fiercely for talent and resources.
It sounds like a global tug of war for AI dominance.
Yeah, you could say that.
But how is this competition actually playing out?
Oh.
Where are we seeing the most impactful applications of AI in the real world?
One area where AI is already making waves is in what Lee calls business AI. We're talking about using AI to streamline business processes, improve decision-making, and automate tasks across various industries.
Okay, but what does that actually look like in practice?
Well,
Give me a concrete example.
think about loan applications.
Okay.
Traditionally, you'd have to go through this lengthy process involving human loan officers, credit checks, lots of paperwork.
Right.
But now, companies like Smart Finance in China are using AI algorithms to underwrite loans with no human involvement at all.
No human involvement.
And get this, they're boasting impressive loan volumes and incredibly low default rates.
That's remarkable. So AI is not just about robots and self-driving cars.
No.
It's already transforming industries in ways we might not even realize. But what about the potential downsides?
Yeah.
Lee doesn't shy away from those either, does he?
Not at all. In fact, he dedicates a significant portion of the book to exploring the potential negative impacts of AI, particularly on employment.
Okay.
He argues that AI is what he calls a general-purpose technology, or GPT. Think of it like electricity or the internet.
Right.
Technologies that fundamentally reshaped society and disrupted entire industries.
So you're saying AI isn't just another tool.
Right.
It's a force that has the potential to upend the way we work, the way we live, even the way we think about ourselves.
Exactly. And Lee's book is both a warning and a call to action.
Okay.
It's a reminder that we need to be prepared for the challenges ahead while also embracing the incredible opportunities that AI offers.
Yeah, I think that's a good place to stop for today.
Okay.
We'll pick up this conversation next time on the Deep Dive.
Sounds good. So, we just painted this picture of China's AI prowess and how this technology is poised to reshape industries. But I think it's important to maybe shift gears for a moment and delve into a more personal aspect of Lee's book.
Yeah.
His own battle with stage 4V lymphoma.
Yeah, it's interesting you bring that up because I was really struck by how this very personal experience seemed to really shift Lee's perspective on AI. Like up until that point in the book, he kind of comes across as this like super driven, almost machine-like achiever.
Yeah.
But then his cancer diagnosis really forces him to confront his own mortality and reevaluate his priorities.
That's a powerful turning point in the book.
Yeah.
Faced with his own vulnerability.
Right.
Lee starts to see AI in a new light. It's no longer just about economic dominance or technological advancement.
Sure.
It becomes a lens through which he examines the very essence of what it means to be human.
He even admits that like before his diagnosis, he was so obsessed with achievement.
Right.
With optimizing his life like an algorithm, that he might have chosen like an important meeting over witnessing the birth of his first child.
It's a stark confession.
Yeah.
But one that I think many of us can relate to.
Oh, for sure.
In this age of constant hustle and achievement,
Right.
we're so focused on external markers of success that we often lose sight of what truly matters: connection, love, compassion.
Yeah.
And that's where I think Lee's insights about AI become really profound.
Okay.
He argues that while AI excels at intelligence and efficiency,
Right.
it lacks those fundamental human qualities. He recounts his experience with AlphaGo, the AI that beat the world champion Go player.
Yeah.
AlphaGo made brilliant moves.
Right.
but it didn't feel any joy, any sense of accomplishment.
Right.
It was just executing a program.
Right. So it was just doing what it was programmed to do.
Exactly. And that's a crucial distinction.
Okay.
AI can mimic intelligence. It can even surpass human capabilities in certain areas,
Right.
but it can't replicate the depth and complexity of human emotions.
Yeah.
It can't understand love, empathy, or compassion. And in a world that's increasingly shaped by I think these very human qualities become even more vital.
Yeah, absolutely. And it's this realization that leads Lee to this concept of human AI symbiosis.
Yeah.
The idea that we need to find ways for humans and AI to work together,
Right.
leveraging each other's strengths. But before we dive into that, I want to go back to Lee's personal story for a moment.
Okay.
He talks about visiting a Buddhist monastery in Taiwan after his diagnosis,
Right.
seeking solace and meaning.
Yeah. He has this powerful encounter with the venerable master A Xingyun,
Okay.
who asks Li about his life's work.
Mm-hmm.
And Li, still in that achievement-oriented mindset,
Yeah.
starts talking about all his accomplishments in AI.
Right.
But the master stops him and gently reminds him it all comes down to love.
It's like a wake-up call.
It is.
Lee realizes he'd spent his life chasing intelligence, but he had neglected the most important thing, human connection.
And this realization becomes the foundation for his vision of human AI coexistence.
Okay.
It's not about fearing AI or trying to compete with it.
Right.
It's about recognizing our own unique strengths, our capacity for love, compassion, creativity.
Okay, so how do we actually create a world where humans and AI can thrive together?
Well, Lee doesn't just leave us with lofty ideals.
Okay.
He lays out a pretty concrete blueprint for navigating this AI revolution.
Okay, let's hear it.
He starts by addressing the elephant in the room, job displacement.
Right.
He argues that AI is going to disrupt a wide range of industries and that a significant percentage of jobs, both blue-collar and white-collar,
Yeah.
could be automated within the next decade or two.
Okay, that's pretty sobering stuff.
It is.
So what's the solution?
Yeah.
How do we prepare for this massive shift in the workforce?
Lee proposes a multifaceted approach.
Right.
First, he emphasizes the need for retraining and upskilling.
Right.
We need to invest in programs that help workers acquire new skills that are relevant to the AI economy.
That makes sense. But is retraining enough? I mean, even with new skills, won't there simply be fewer jobs available?
That's a valid concern, and Lee acknowledges that retraining alone won't solve the problem.
Right.
So he suggests two additional solutions:
Okay.
reduce work hours and work sharing,
Okay.
and something called Universal Basic Income, or UBI.
Okay, let's break those down.
Okay?
Reduced work hours seem pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Spreading the available work around so more people can stay employed.
Right.
But how would work sharing work exactly?
It's basically about companies reducing hours for multiple workers.
Okay.
Instead of laying some off entirely,
Right.
the government would then compensate those workers for a portion of their lost wages.
So it's kind of a safety net during this transition period.
Right.
A way to prevent mass unemployment and keep people connected to the workforce.
Exactly.
And then there's UBI.
Yeah.
What exactly is that?
UBI is the idea of giving everyone a basic income,
Okay.
regardless of whether they're working or not. It's a pretty radical concept,
Yeah.
but one that's gaining traction,
Okay.
even among some prominent tech figures like Sam Altman, the president of Y Combinator, and Chris Hughes, a co-founder of Facebook.
Okay. Yeah. It's definitely a bold idea.
It is.
And I can see how it could provide a financial safety net
Right.
in a world where AI could displace a large portion of the workforce.
Exactly.
But it also raises a lot of questions.
Right.
Where would the funding come from? Wouldn't it disincentivize people from working?
Those are valid concerns.
Yeah.
And the feasibility and potential impacts of UBI are still being debated.
Right.
But where it leaves, it's a solution worth considering,
Okay.
especially as we grapple with the unprecedented challenges that AI presents.
So we've got retraining,
Yeah.
work sharing, and UBI as potential solutions to the job displacement issue.
Right.
But Lee's vision goes beyond just addressing the economic fallout of AI.
He does.
He talks about the need for a new social contract, a fundamental shift in how we value work and purpose.
Exactly.
Huh.
He argues that we need to move beyond thinking about work solely in terms of paid employment.
Okay.
We need to create new opportunities for people to contribute to society, to find meaning and purpose, even if those contributions aren't tied to a traditional job.
Okay. I'm intrigued. What would this new social contract look like in practice?
Well, Lee highlights this concept of human-AI symbiosis,
Okay.
finding ways for humans and AI to work together, each playing to their strengths.
Right.
He uses the example of compassionate caregivers in healthcare.
Okay.
AI could handle tasks like diagnosing diseases
Mm-hmm.
and recommending treatments,
Okay.
but human caregivers would still play a vital role in communicating with patients,
Yeah.
providing emotional support,
Mm.
and ensuring that the human touch isn't lost.
So it's not about replacing doctors or nurses entirely.
No.
It's about redefining their roles,
Exactly.
allowing them to focus on the uniquely human aspects of caregiving.
Exactly. And Lee believes this same principle can be applied to other fields.
Okay.
Imagine teachers using AI to personalize lessons for each student,
Mm.
freeing up their time to focus on mentoring and fostering creativity.
Mm.
Or social workers using AI to analyze data and identify those in need,
Okay.
allowing them to spend more time building relationships and providing support.
So it's about finding that sweet spot where
Mhm.
AI enhances our human capabilities,
Right.
allowing us to be more effective,
Yeah.
more compassionate, and ultimately more human in our interactions.
That's the essence of Lee's vision.
I like it.
He argues that we need to stop viewing AI as a threat
Okay.
and start seeing it as an opportunity to create a more humane and fulfilling future.
But how do we actually get there?
Well-
How do we shift from our current economic model,
Right.
which is so focused on productivity and efficiency,
Yeah.
to one that prioritizes human well-being and social good?
Lee suggests a combination of approaches.
Okay.
He talks about the need for service sector impact investing,
Okay.
where investors prioritize funding projects and companies that create jobs and address social needs.
So instead of just chasing profits,
Right.
investors would focus on creating a positive social impact.
Exactly. And this goes hand in hand with government policies that incentivize these kinds of investments and support the creation of jobs in areas like caregiving, education, and community development.
So it's a multi-pronged approach
Yeah.
involving both private and public sector initiatives.
Okay.
But ultimately, it sounds like this shift also requires a change in our cultural values.
Yeah.
We need to start valuing compassion, creativity, and social connection as much as we value productivity and economic growth.
And that's where Lee's personal story comes full circle.
Okay.
He argues that his cancer diagnosis forced him to confront his own mortality.
Right.
And to realize that true fulfillment comes from human connection, from love and compassion,
Yeah.
not from chasing external markers of success.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
And it really resonates with, I think, the core themes of his book. AI is not just about technology. It's about what it means to be human in a world that's increasingly shaped by machines.
And Lee's book is both a guide and a challenge.
Okay.
It's a guide to navigating the complex landscape of AI.
Mm-hmm.
And it's a challenge to create a future where AI empowers us to live more meaningful and fulfilling lives.
This has been an incredible deep dive so far. It has. We've covered so much ground,
We have.
from China's AI ambitions to the potential impact on jobs and the economy, to Lee's personal journey and his vision for human-AI coexistence.
Right.
It's been a challenging and thought-provoking conversation.
It has. And I think a good place to end it for today.
Okay, sounds good. We'll pick it up next time on the deep dive. You know, we spent a lot of time unpacking the economic and social implications of AI.
Yeah.
And I have to admit, it's a little bit daunting to think about all the changes that could be coming our way. But Lee's book isn't all doom and gloom, is it?
Not at all. I'd say it's ultimately a hopeful book.
Okay.
Remember that quote we touched on earlier?
Yeah.
Let us choose to let machines be machines and let humans be humans. Let us choose to simply use our machines and, more importantly, to love one another.
Right.
Lee truly believes that AI can help us rediscover what's most important, our shared humanity.
It's a powerful message.
It is.
But how does that translate into concrete action?
Right.
Like, what can we do as individuals to prepare for this future where AI is such a prominent force?
Lee argues that it starts with a mindset shift.
Okay.
We need to stop viewing AI as a threat
Mm-hmm.
and start seeing it as a tool.
Okay.
A tool that can automate tasks, provide insights, and even help us solve complex problems.
Right.
But it's up to us to decide how we use this tool.
So it's not about surrendering to the machines.
Right.
It's about harnessing their power to enhance our own lives and create a better world.
Exactly.
Okay.
Lee envisions a future where AI frees us from the drudgery of repetitive tasks, allowing us to focus on things that require creativity, critical thinking, and emotional intelligence.
Right.
He even suggests that AI could lead to a resurgence of craftsmanship, a rediscovery of the joy of creating things with our own hands.
I love that idea.
Yeah.
It's like a counterbalance to the hyper-efficiency and automation that often feels dehumanizing.
Yeah.
But how do we ensure that everyone benefits from this AI-powered future?
Mm.
Lee talks a lot about the potential for economic disruption,
Yeah.
the risk of widening inequality, and even the possibility of a useless class of unemployed people.
He does.
Yeah.
And that's where his vision for a new social contract comes in.
Okay.
He believes we need to fundamentally rethink our economic system, shifting from a narrow focus on GDP to a more holistic model that prioritizes human well-being.
Okay, but what does that actually look like?
Well,
How do we move from abstract ideals to practical solutions?
Lee proposes a number of concrete steps.
Okay.
Remember that idea of a social investment stipend we discussed earlier?
Yeah.
He envisions a system where people are rewarded for engaging in activities that benefit society,
Okay.
even if those activities aren't traditionally considered work.
So things like caring for family members,
Right.
volunteering in the community, or pursuing creative passions could actually contribute to a person's economic well-being.
Exactly. It's about recognizing the value of those contributions,
Right.
even if they don't generate traditional economic output. And this would require a shift in our cultural values as well.
Right.
We'd need to start valuing compassion, creativity, and community engagement as much as we value productivity and efficiency.
It's a bold vision,
Is
but it's one that feels both necessary and inspiring.
Yeah.
It's about reclaiming our humanity in a world that's increasingly shaped by technology.
Lee believes that AI itself can play a role in achieving this vision. He talks about the potential for AI-powered tools that help us connect with others, learn new skills, and find purpose in our lives. He even imagines AI therapists that could provide personalized guidance and support.
It's amazing to think about the possibilities.
Yeah.
But it's also a bit overwhelming.
Yeah.
Where do we even begin to prepare for this future?
Lee's advice is simple. Be informed, be engaged, and be proactive.
Okay.
Learn about AI, explore its potential applications, and think critically about its implications. Engage in conversations about the future you want to create.
Okay.
And don't be afraid to experiment, to try new things, and to use your own unique skills and talents to shape the world around you.
That's empowering advice.
Yeah.
It reminds us that we're not just passive bystanders in this technological revolution.
Right.
We're active participants who have the power to shape our own destiny.
Exactly. And that, I think, is the ultimate takeaway from AI Superpowers.
Okay.
It's not a prediction of a predetermined future.
Right.
It's a call to action. It's an invitation to imagine a better world and to start building it today.
Well, this has been an incredible deep dive into the world of AI. We've explored the rise of China as an AI superpower, the potential impact on jobs and the economy,
Yeah.
and Lee's personal journey that led him to this vision of human-AI symbiosis.
Right.
It's been a challenging and thought-provoking conversation.
It has, and I hope it sparks some new ideas and insights for our listeners. This is just the beginning of the conversation.
Right.
And I encourage everyone to continue exploring these topics, to challenge their own assumptions, and to contribute to creating a future where AI enhances our humanity rather than diminishes it.
Yeah, this is a conversation I think that we all need to be having.
Absolutely.
Thank you so much for joining us on this deep dive.
It was my pleasure.
And to our listeners, we'd love to hear your thoughts.
Yeah.
What resonated with you? What questions do you still have? Share your reactions with us on social media, and let's continue this conversation together.
Until next time, stay curious.